right, good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're going to talk about absolute value, solving absolute value equations, okay? Absolute value equations. Let's talk about, first of all, how many people have heard of the word absolute value?
Oh, I have. The words.
Do you guys all know what it is?
It's really easy.
An absolute value. So when you have absolute value, does anybody remember what is the symbol that you use? All right. So absolute value, there's a symbol. If I said the absolute value of 10, right? That means the absolute value of 10 is 10.
Wait, so they're two,
Isn't that weird? It's
they're
like,
two just lines?
yeah, it's two straight lines on either side of the 10. And that says the absolute value of 10. Okay? Now, the absolute value of negative 10 is, what do you think?
10 minus 10.
It's
20,
10.
10 minus 20. I mean 20 minus 10.
Absolute value of negative 10 is 10. Wait a minute, this is like weird stuff. This is like math in the 21st century, right? 22nd century, right? All right, so the important thing to understand is what does absolute value mean? All absolute value means, this is the definition of absolute value. Absolute value. This is all it means. It means the distance away from zero. So if I'm talking about the distance away from zero, here's a number line. Here's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, this is negative 10. This is positive 10. How far, can you guys cool it? How far is 10 away from 0?
10.
It's 10 units away from 0, right? How far is negative 10 away from 0? Yeah, it's not negative 10 units away from 0. It's just 10 units away from 0, right? I can still count them. So with absolute value, negative doesn't really exist. Does that make sense? You get that? It's a special way because sometimes with distance, for example, distance can never be negative, right? Like think about it. Here's a box, right, or a rectangle, right? And let's say the distance from here to here was, 8 inches, and the different distance from here to here was 3 inches, right? Now, can you picture a box where the distance is negative 8 inches? It's impossible, right? Distance can't be a negative number. Does that make sense? You see that? Because negative means less than 0. Well, 0 is nothing, right? So less than nothing, you can't have a distance less than nothing. So absolute value is our way to work with positive and negatives, but always say, but they're always going to be equals to a positive number. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A little bit? So, okay, so that's basically what it is, and that's why those two statements are correct. So the absolute value of a positive number is always a positive number. It's the same number, positive. The absolute value of a negative number is a positive number. Now sometimes you'll see with algebra, we have x's and y's, right? So sometimes you'll see this. X minus 2, the absolute value of x minus 2 is equal to,
Negative 2x.
what we don't know what x is, right? We're just going to call we got to first find out what x is till we know what this is. It does not mean this, that it's x plus 2. It does not mean we're changing this every negative sign to a positive, right? Because I want to first know what x is. Do you see my point?
Yeah.
Because if x were negative 1, then negative 1 minus 2 would be what? If x were negative 1, the absolute value of negative 1 minus 2, what's negative 1 and negative 2?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So that's the absolute value of negative 3, which is equal to positive 3. You with me?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And
Wait, what did you write before that? You wrote the absolute value of x minus 2.
it does not equal x plus 2.
Okay.
It does not equal x plus 2. It's not about just changing that sign in there. That sign doesn't change. Once you know the value inside this, then you make sure it's positive, right? You get that? Does it make sense? Yeah. So, all right. So now we're going to talk about actually solving an equation. So what if I did this? What if I said the absolute value, okay, here's our first one. Absolute value of x is equal to 8. Okay?
Wouldn't it just be 8?
What are all the possibilities that x could be?
Could be 8.
Okay, x could be 8. I agree. So the absolute value of positive 8 is equal to 8. Is there anything else that x could be?
Negative 8.
Negative 8, right? You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
It could be negative 8. So the absolute value of negative 8 is also positive 8. So what you're telling me is that x could either equal 8 or x could equal negative 8, right? Okay? So that's kind of what you do. So now that you understand that, we could set this up as an equation like this. We set it up as 2 equations. There's always 2 answers. There's always 2 answers. Always. Always 2 answers for absolute value equations. Okay? So if I were solving this is what I would do. I would create 2 equations. One here with the word or in between, and then another one here. The first one would be exactly what you see here without these lines. Okay? So I would say, well, x is equal to 8. And then I would write the word or, and I would write this again, x, without the lines, and then equals, and then whatever's on this side, I change it to negative. So negative 8. You with me? And look, we did it. X equals 8 or x equals negative 8. It worked.
That's really easy.
It's really easy.
Is that it?
Almost. Now we're going to make it a little harder. Okay? But now, as long as you understand the concept, it's really, really easy, right? So here we go, number 2. What if I give you the absolute value of x plus 4 is equal to 10?
So there's always just one variable.
There's always just one variable, exactly, in these, in the ones I'm giving you at least. Okay? And so, again, remember, this x plus 4 inside could equal what?
Like,
In
6.
order for this to be 10, well, not just the x, but just the x plus 4 altogether.
It could either equal 14 or.
Well, you're going too fast. You're skipping a step. This, if this were, what are all the possibilities of what's inside this? 10 or negative 10. So you're telling me that x plus 4 could either equal 10 or x plus 4 could equal negative 10.
Well, no.
So it's,
Yeah,
so you can
that's
do
right.
negative 14.
Remember? Look what we did. We wrote this here, x without the absolute value signs equals this, or x, this, exactly what's here, equals the negative version of this. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to say either x plus 4 is equal to positive 10. So that's exactly the same thing without the absolute value. And then I write the word or. Yeah, hang on. Or I say x plus 4. I write the exact same thing here, equals negative 10. And now I solve for x on both of them, right? I'm going to solve for both of them. I'm going to say subtract 4, that gives me x is equal to 6. And then I have the word or, subtract 4, and I've got x equals what? Negative 14. Right? It's never, that's the biggest mistake people make. They say, oh, once they find this one, they say, oh, it's either x equals 6 or x equals negative 6. No, it isn't. It's almost never the same number. Because now they're both negative, so you keep the sign, you keep the negative, and you add the numbers. So it's either positive 6 or negative 14. Right? Pretty easy, right? Pretty straightforward. Let's do a few more so that we're sure we got it. 1, 2, so we'll do 3, and we'll do 4. All right, and I think that'll be enough. So how about absolute value of 2x minus 6 is equal to 12. Okay? So again, I know that what's inside here could either equal positive 12 or negative 12, right? The absolute value of positive 12 would be 12, the absolute value of negative 12 would be 12. Therefore, 2x minus 6 could either be positive 12 or negative 12, right? So I'm going to say, the first one's going to be exactly this without my absolute value signs. I'm going to say 2x minus 6 equals 12, then the word or, and I just write that again, 2x minus 6 equals negative 12. And then I solve it. I add 6, I have 2x is equal to 18, divide by 2, x is equal to 9. Beautiful. And then here, I add 6, I have 2x is equal to what?
No.
Negative 6, I think that's right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Divide by 2, x is equal to negative 3. So I put the word or in between, and I put the answer in a box. Always two answers.
So it's kind of like it's like an alternate universe.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's just like totally different. It's like space-age math, right? Space-age, x is two numbers? What? Right? Two possibilities. So, okay, let's try one more. So we got 5x minus 5, absolute value is equal to 25. All right, what do? I do this is equal to that, or this is equal to negative that, right? So either 5x minus 5 is equal to 25, or, I don't know if I have room to do this, 5x minus 5 is equal to negative 25. Yeah, that'll work. All right, now let me just show you one common mistake that people make, just before I solve this. They think, oh, the absolute value makes all negatives positive. And they go like this, we'll make that, oh, that negative, we'll make it a plus 5. Don't do that. Don't do that, right? That's not going to work. That's not logical. What's logical is saying, what does this have to equal? It has to equal positive 25 or negative 25. That has to equal positive 25 or negative 25. Okay, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Add 5 to both sides. I've got 5x is equal to 30, divided by 5, x is equal to 6, right? Add 5 to both sides. 5x is equal to negative 20, right? Divide by 5, x is equal to negative 4. Put the word or, put the whole thing in a box so Gary can find it, right? And we're done. They're really easy. They're actually really fun. There is one more lecture next week that I'll give on this. One thing that's really important with absolute values is that the absolute value sign has to be isolated. What do I mean by isolated?
Oh,
Yes, Caleb.
I think we all understand the calculation.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait. I get it. But isolated means what? Who knows?
like alone.
Alone, right?
Or like untrapped.
Yeah, untrapped or but in this case in math, it means alone. So on this side of the equal sign, the absolute value has to be the only thing that's there for this method to work. Does that make sense? Yes? Caleb, did you hear that? All right, that's good enough. We'll just stop there.
Wait, Gary, is that what